AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know. Let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
This is Jesse James Leija, and you're listening to Fascination Street Podcast.
AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know. Let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with San Antonio native and two-time world champion boxing legend, Jesse James Leija. In this episode, Jesse and I talk about all things boxing. Some things boxing. We talk about his growing up in San Antonio and why he decided to get into boxing. We talk about some of his career highlights, including his 4 fights against Azuma Nelson. Jesse tells us what it takes to be a champion, what the steps are to even get the opportunity to fight for a title, how it feels to win and lose in your hometown, and why he feels the need to give back. Jesse James Leija is not only a mental health advocate, he also has several charity organizations, including the Leija Family Foundation, as well as the Miracle League, which we talk about in depth. That's a pretty fascinating story. And he even has the longest running charity golf tournament in San Antonio. Naturally, we talk about some of the recent spectacle fighting with the likes of Jake Paul and those sorts of things, and what the champ's opinion is on stuff like that. I can't tell you how excited I was and am that I got to talk to the Jesse James Leija. Like I say towards the end of the episode, Jesse James Leija has been a figure in my hometown for as long as I can remember. I've known his name for as long as I can remember. He is one of the most well-respected athletes in the history of this city, and he has always represented this city in a tasteful manner and filled with integrity. This dude is amazing, and speaking with him, it was everything I hoped it would be. He is the friendliest, nicest, down-to-earth guy that I would have ever hoped for him to be. So thank you, Jesse James Leija. I appreciate you, champ. And this is my conversation with two-time world champion boxer, Jesse James Leija.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Steve, you there?
Holy moly, the man himself.
This is my trophy room. Check this out.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That answers the question I have. I might ask you about later. That is so cool. Oh my God.
All these gloves signed by all these, like, there's Marvin Hagler right there. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah.
Marvin Hagler. I got Tyson here, Chavez.
Whoa.
Canelo gloves. Look at these. Hold on.
Bro, look at those belts. Hey, this is a weird question. Did you sign some and put some up there of your own? You're a world champion, bro.
Well, there's one that I signed, but I signed with the other fighters. Check this out. This is one of my buddies right here who passed away a couple of years ago. But check this out.
Oh, wait, is that Pete Rose?
Pete Rose, yeah.
Oh, hang on. Let's check this out. Hang on.
He's just man. He would call me, and I would call him just every once in a while, just to catch up and talk, and he loved boxing. And he also had some of my sons here, my boys, when they were younger.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, man. Wasn't he a nice guy?
He was so cool. So I was just walking through. I'm sure, he knew he was in Vegas. I didn't know that he was just always signing in Vegas. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot the name of the place, but
yeah. And so I was walking through one time a bunch of years ago, and I was like, holy shit, is that Pete Rose? And I just went in there and I, got a picture and bought a ball or whatever. Yeah. The only thing he wanted to talk about, check this. He goes, hey, where are you from? And I was like, San Antonio. The only thing he wanted to talk about was Kawhi Leonard. That's it. He was just like, what's going on with Kawhi Leonard? Is he coming back? That dude's amazing. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I have no idea.
Just a great guy. I miss him.
Broke my heart when he passed. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know him, but I was, I was sad.
Again, just a couple of days ago, I read where they're trying to lift his ban on the...
They should have did it while he was still alive.
Yeah, they should have done that when he was alive, but, the story goes.
Especially since, now everybody's getting in trouble because it looks like everybody's always been cheating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Mark McGuire and all those guys. What was the other guy from Chicago?
Sosa?
Sammy. They were all doing it, and they were caught too. But nothing. They're still in the. I don't know. It's one of those things.
It's crazy. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Ready.
Well, welcome to Fascination Street Podcast. Jesse James Leija. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. Just staying busy and living the dream.
Speaking of living the dream, ladies and gentlemen, streetwalkers, if you will, San Antonio's own Jesse James Leija, world champion professional boxer, and one of the best dudes in the whole city. Guys, this dude, he does so much for the city that nobody even knows about, and we're going to talk about some of those things and why he does them. But first, Jesse, what I like to do is I like to start from the beginning, man. It helps us understand how the guests got from where they were to where they are. So where were you born and raised, as if I don't know?
Born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, 1966.
Where were you born in San Antonio? Where? What hospital?
I believe it was the Robert B. Greene. I believe that's what my mom said.
Oh, okay.
There's a long story there that's kind of awkward that not a lot of people know about it. And I really never talked about it before, but, I was adopted when I was born. And it was through family, but I was still adopted. My dad's sister had me, but my dad and my mom took me in right after that as when I was born. And no one knows about that, but it was just, back then you don't talk about that stuff. What are the neighbors going to say? Don't talk about anything like that. But man, it's one of the proudest things one of the best things that ever happened to me, because without that happening, who I am today would not have been possible, because my mom and dad are incredible people.
That goes a long way to how we grow up, is all of the things, whether they're good or bad, all of the things that we go through, all of the things that happen to us, all of the decisions that we make in the crossroads that we come across. I think that all, has a huge impact on who we are and how we turn out. And, like you said, you're an adult right now and you've had all this crazy success, and I'm sure you've had some tragedy, but you wouldn't be even close to the person that you are if all of those things didn't happen exactly the way they happened, including that first thing that happened when you were born.
100%. When I was 10 years old is when I found out.
How did you find out?
Oh, my mom and dad told me, but during that time,
like on your birthday, or?
Well, no, not. It was. Well, I'll tell you why. When I was 10 years old, I was playing Pop Warner football.
The Little Cowboys or something, right?
The Little Cowboys, yeah, in the South Side. And birth certificate had to be turned in, right, to register and all that. And my mom and dad sat me down and said, "We have to talk to you about something." I said, "What's that?" They go, "Well, we need to go and change your name to get you registered for football." I said, "What do you mean change my name?" And they said, "Well, you're not really James Leija. You are James." And they gave me the last name that I had from my birth mom. And I was like, "What's going on?" Then they explained to me who my mom was and all that stuff. And I said, "Wow." I was freaked out. I said, "She always hugs me." That lady that we're talking about always hugged me and loved on me whenever I would see her. And I said, "Man, everybody loves me, right?" Even my half brothers and half sisters would hug me. And I was like, "Man, I'm just a good guy. Everybody likes me, right?" But
I'm popular.
they knew about it. I didn't know about it, right? They knew because they were older than me. And then until I found out when I was 10 years old, I was like, wow, this was so much. It was a shock to me. I was in shock. And I was upset too. I felt sorry for myself. I was upset. How could this happen? How did I know about this? And so they changed my name to Leija, which I am, I'm still a half Leija. They changed my name and I started playing football. A lot of things happened to me when I was 10 years old. I burned my hand real bad. I had third-degree burns in my hand from popping fireworks and making a big pile of gunpowder. 10 years old. And no supervision. I'm on the streets. Remember, back in the day, we are on the streets.
It was the 70s, bro.
Yeah, it was the 70s. That's what we did. I put a little pile of gunpowder from all the fireworks because I wanted to make a big sparkle. It was a big explosion. Burned my hand so bad. I was 10 years old. Just all the little things happened. Played Pop Warner football. I was in good. It was just a great year. It's like the wonder years. That kid. Everything's happening to him, right? Yeah. That was me when I was 10. One thing led to another, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. My parents taking me in.
I love it. Good people. I love hearing stories of good people.
Yeah.
So did you maintain a relationship with that other woman? Like the same relationship that you had?
Yes. All the time. Always talking to her, seeing her at parties or gatherings, family gatherings. Yes. Up until this day, on my birthday or on Christmas or whatever, we exchange, hellos and, Merry Christmas and things like that. But, you know, nothing's changed. My mom, my dad, or my mom and my dad.
Not to get, too personal, feel free to not answer anything you don't want to, but did you and her ever have the conversation about why?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I was 38 years old.
Oh, wow. Why did it take so long? If you found out when you were 10, why did it take so long?
Shh, don't talk about things. What are the neighbors going to
Okay,
say?
yeah.
Keep it quiet. Nobody wants, that type of thing, right? For whatever reason. And this is all stuff I'm telling. No one knows about this because I'm just right now just saying it out. But, there was one day I was in church with my wife and my kids years ago. I was 38 years old. So I'm 59 now. And she was behind me. I said, man, I got to say something. We've never talked about it all this time and gatherings and parties and whatever. Never said a word to it. And after church, I stood up. She walked up to me to say hi. And I said, hi. And I said, you know what? I just want to thank you for doing everything you did. I want to thank you for what you did. Because if you did not do that, I would not be who I am today. I would not have the parents that I have today. Thank you for doing what you did because I'm sure you had. And I know she's maybe felt she had to do it, whatever it was, but I just thanked her for it. And we cried, we hugged each other, we had a good time. It was letting everything out. But it was beautiful. I loved it. And I love her. She's family, so I love her.
That's a beautiful story. Okay, so you're 10 years old, you find this out. Mm-hmm. You're playing for the Little Cowboys, you're Pop Warner. You love to hit. You just love to hit people.
Yeah, I was. You know what? I was a middle linebacker and a fullback.
I love it. So you love to lay the smackdown on some fools, even as a little kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard a story that when you came to the realization that you needed to make a change was because you had gotten into a little bit of legal trouble and you were feeling like you were embarrassing your parents.
Exactly. And remember, after what they'd done for me, right?
Right. And you knew this, so
yeah.
You don't have to tell me what you did that got you in trouble, but tell me the feelings behind, sitting there deciding that you kind of weren't headed in the right direction and you needed to make a change. What was the thought process behind that?
It's a kind of a funny aha story, but my girlfriend at the time and I was 18 years old. We were supposed to go out, on a date. And my buddy, who's a good friend, I don't talk to him a lot right now. If I see him, we talk and we hang out, whatever. But he was my best friend at the time. We worked at Sutherland Lumber. Remember that place?
I do, yeah.
I used to work off Sub Perez in the south side of San Antonio. Actually, I wasn't working there at the time, but my buddy and I were working there. That's how I became my friend. I was 18 years old, and there was a big party I was supposed to go on. He goes, hey, James, there's a big party. Let's go out there and hang out. There's going to be a lot of girls out there and whatever. And I said, no, man, I have a date going on. He goes, no, man, come on. And I said, okay, let's go. So I was supposed to go on a date with my wife, and I didn't even call her. Just went with my buddy. Sure enough, we were drinking and, it was a party. It was a good party, but just drinking a lot, drinking too much. We drove to Jack in the Box on Military Drive in Pleasanton. We got out. I threw up. I ate. Yeah, we were drinking a lot, right? Back then was Bartles and James and Seagram's. Remember that?
Mad Dog 2020.
All those drinks, right? Nonstop. So I get off. I threw up, which is great. I get in Jack in the Box and we eat. We're nice now. We're good, right? We're not messed up. And then we're driving down Military, going home, and the light was green. Right when I got under it, it turned yellow, and then it turned red, right? As soon as that happened, the lights come on behind me. And I'm like, oh, my God, we're driving. That my buddy starts panicking, goes, hey, I think I have a warrant for my arrest. Take off. Go, go, go. I can't let them get me. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And, I started driving faster and trying to get away. The cop car's right behind me. I'm 18 years old. I'm dumb, right? Which has been drinking. And then another cop car comes behind us, and I'm driving down the Pan Am on the side of the expressway, and a cop pulls out in front of me for me to hit him. I swerve around, spin out, hit the guardrails. I was in an RX-7, souped up RX-7. Cops come, they have the guns on their heads and says, get out. We get out, and I'm like, oh, my God, what am I doing? We spent 26 hours in jail.
I can't believe it was only 26 hours.
Yeah, back then, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they didn't even check us for DWI at all, nothing, because I don't know why, but they didn't. I guess they figured we weren't messed up.
They figured you were just stupid.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, dumb guys. Yeah, what did they do? I was in the old jail where it was nasty. It was nasty in that dojo. Guys laying around drunk, puking, it was just terrible. And I'm there, and I'm like, man, what am I doing? What am I doing to my parents? This ain't no way to honor them. Oh my God, I'm just so embarrassed. And my dad was a fighter back in the late 50s, early 60s. My dad was the first San Antonian to ever make it to the National Golden Gloves finals in 1959. He was a fighter, but they never wanted us to fight because it's dangerous. It's terrible. It's not, it's dirty, whatever, right? He didn't want us going through that. So we never boxed. We knew how to because he would teach us, but we never did it. And when I was in jail, I said, man, this ain't me. I'm going to become a firefighter, a police officer. I was a good kid anyways, but I said, I'm going to become a firefighter, a police officer. I'm going to do something, but I'm going to get in shape first. I'm going to put a bag in my garage and hit the bag, get in shape, and just become a firefighter, a police officer. One of those, right? And my dad will come into the garage and see me and say, why don't you do this, and then walk back in. He didn't want us fighting.
Keep your left up. Hit harder with your right. Put your shoulder into it.
Yeah, whatever. Little things like that. But he didn't want us fighting. And he would come back out. And I was doing this every day. I was on a mission to do something great, right? And he would do this all the time. He goes, James, if you want to do this, let's do it the right way. Why don't we go down to the gym and try? I said, yeah, Dad, let's do that. Let's go out there. I said, I want to get fit. Let's go do it the right way. 2.5 years later, I'm in the Olympic trials.
2.5 years later.
2.5 years later, 35 fights later, I'm in the Olympic trials. I fought 35 times, but still, I wasn't going to turn pro. I was just trying to get in shape to become a firefighter or a police officer, one of those things. One of the fights that I fought at the Golden Gloves in Fort Worth, the cut man that I had is legendary Joe Souza, famous cut man, introduced me to a guy named Lester Bedford out of Fort Worth to see if he would manage me one day or if I ever turned pro. And Lester liked what he saw when I was fighting and wanted to sign me up. After my Olympic trials, he said, hey, James, if you're ready to fight, I would love to sign you up. One of the things he said, he goes, you may never become a world champion or maybe even be a good fighter, but if you do the right things in San Antonio, because I already had a name, right? I was in the Olympic trials, so I had a small name. He goes, maybe somebody would hire you and have you work for them. And I said, yeah, maybe one day, right? So 17 and a half years later, I made it a career and had a great career as a fighter.
And your dad was your trainer the whole time?
My dad was my trainer the whole time. That was my way of honoring him for what he did. And he just did a great job. We had other trainers come in every once in a while. My dad was such a good guy to say that, you know what, I don't know everything. And, let's get help. I may need help too, right? He would always encourage other trainers to come in and help. We had about maybe 3 or 4 assistant trainers, but my dad was always there day to day. He was my primary trainer. And everything he did was why I became the fighter and why I became the person that I am is because my dad and my mom.
I love it.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Is this right? You're 42% Native American?
I found that out when I was 50 years old.
Which Native American tribe?
Oh, that's an inside joke, but I don't know. That's one thing I would like to find out.
Wait, why is that an inside joke? What's a joke about that?
It's just funny. I can't say, but I haven't found out what tribe or anything. But I'm assuming, like everyone else, I'm not sure what tribes they were around that. But obviously South Texas, Mexico, Leijas there are in South Mexico and all over by Monterrey, everywhere. So it's a big tribe.
Oh wow! So 2 years after you started fighting, you're in the Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Up to that point, that was the biggest stage you had been on, was the U.S. Olympic trials?
Oh, yeah. The Golden Gloves as well. The Texas Golden Gloves is a pretty big event, but there was nothing like that, the Olympic trials. And before that, I fought in the Western Olympic trials to qualify for the Olympic trials. So I went through some very tough fights. All these guys that I was fighting had been in boxing since they were 4, 5, 6 years old. I just started boxing. I was only boxing within 2 years. I was beating a lot of guys way more experienced than I was. But like I tell you, my dad was just a very smart man. He knew how to train me. He got the best out of me. And at the same time, I was doing a lot for my dad. I wanted to make him proud too.
What does that mean you were doing a lot for him?
I wanted to make him proud. I was going above and beyond.
So were you fighting for him or were you fighting for you?
I think both. I wanted him to know that he did the right thing.
Dude, don't cry. That's not what the show is.
I know. I wanted him to know that, man, for what I did when I was 18 or 19 years old, when I was 18, that was just something that happened, but that wasn't me.
Oh, it sounds like you're just trying to make up for maybe even the threat of tarnishing the good name.
Yeah, and to make him proud of me, to make him proud.
That is so sweet. You fought 58 fights, if my math is correct.
Yes, sir.
2 world titles, 3 North American titles. 45 of those fights were on national television.
Yeah.
Holy balls, dude. 45 fights on TV. Oh my God.
I had a great manager. He knew how to get me on those, networks and I was on NBC and it was just crazy. But I had to, you have to back it up, right? You have to be able to fight.
Sure, yeah. You don't get 45 if you suck on the first one.
Exactly. But, to get me on all those events, it was just great. But I had to, I still had to perform. He would always say that. He goes, James, I get you the fights, but you still got to perform. And I said, yeah, but we worked together. We were a good team.
All right, I'm going to ask you some questions about boxing and about your career specifically.
Mm-hmm.
First, I need you to tell me about the belt. Oh, let's just say you win a belt.
Uh-huh.
Is it like the Stanley Cup when you're not the champion anymore? You have to give away the belt, or do you get to keep it forever like a trophy?
You keep it forever like a trophy.
So you still have the belts, right?
I have all my belts, yes.
Oh, that is kick-ass.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 belts.
They're the actual trophies, so you get to keep them forever. You don't have to hand them off if you lose them.
Yeah. So the Stanley Cup, it's only one belt, only one cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just add the name of the team that won, and then it goes off to the next person.
That's pretty cool.
I guess it's cool, but
but you don't get to have anything, right? You have that thing to show for it.
Yeah, you don't get to have it. No matter how many times you won it, you don't get to have it at your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the process to fight for a title.
Uh-huh.
What is the path? Let's go with you were 15-0, 10 by KO. And then after your draw in 1990 with Ed Parker, you put together something like an 11-win fight streak against real contenders before you got the opportunity to even fight for a title. Is it always like that, or can you fight for a title a little sooner? Or like, how does it work?
You have to have experience in fighting the better fighters to get to the world champion. Matter of fact, there's what's the guy's name? Bryant from the Spurs, the rookie.
I know you know all of them because you're friends with them, but I haven't paid attention to them.
Yeah, one of the guys, he's going to the G League, and they're saying that he's a good player, but he needs experience. So get that experience. So in boxing, when you first start off, you have to get at least 15, 20 fights under your belt for experience before you start fighting the better fighters. Because if not, you don't have a chance.
But also it's dangerous, right? Like if you don't know what you're doing, you could get killed.
Oh, yeah. And you could lose any fight. It just takes one punch to land perfectly for you to be out cold. So you have to have that experience. And it's really tough learning the experience, trying not to get beat up during the fight. It's very tough trying not to get beat up. Can you imagine? You could get cut with one punch in the eye, and it's so bad they have to stop it.
That's one of the secrets to your success, right? Is that like you said it as kind of a joke just now, like, trying not to get beat up. But that was one of your things, like to your success was that you didn't go in there trying to be a slugger. You went in there trying to be a boxer, right?
Yes. And that was my dad. He mentioned something to me when I was probably starting off as a boxer. He said, James, being tough and being stupid, there's a fine line between both. And what he meant by that was tough fighters are stupid because they get hit a lot. He always said, you don't want to be known as a tough fighter. You want to be known as a smart fighter. Tough fighters get hit a lot. Just like tough football players. They go through everything, right? They're rugged and all that. But who's taking the damage? They are.
Right.
And my dad always said, you don't have to be tough. You just got to be smart.
Love that.
And if I was sparring and I'm in sparring, I was getting hit, he would get mad at me. He would say, what are you doing? You're getting hit. I said, Dad, this is called boxing. He goes, yeah, but you don't have to get hit. You being a boxer, boxers don't have to get hit. And so he would always, reiterate that to me. You don't have to get hit. You can be smart.
So like, let's say the first Rocky movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, in that movie, he's a slugger because he's just taking it. He's like, bring it. But then Apollo Creed, he's an actual boxer because he's not getting hit.
Exactly. And who was a smart fighter in that fight, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes the tough guy wins, but he's not going to win after he's done boxing.
Yeah, no kidding.
And funny story about that is 2009, I believe, 2010, they were inducting Sylvester Stallone in the Hall of Fame in Canastota.
The Boxing Hall of Fame?
Yes, the Boxing Hall of Fame. Sylvester Stallone's getting inducted for his roles in Rocky. I was first against it. Like, I was like, how can they put this guy? He's never taken a real punch in his life.
Well, shit, can I get in?
Yeah, but what he did was inspire so many fighters to get into the gym, to clean up and to imitate him or want to be like him and win the world title. He inspired so many guys to walk into the gym and start boxing. It made boxing a popular thing, right? And so I was kind of against it. And I was like, man, this guy never taken a punch in his life and all that. Here I am taking a lot of punches and whatever. So the Hall of Fame, they invite me to go up to the Hall of Fame.
Same year?
Yeah, same year. Not to get inducted, but to be there. You know, it's a big event. They always invite like 50 to 60 world champions, and we're all there hanging out. It's just like a big community of fighters just talking and hanging out. It's in a weird small hotel in Canastota. The Canastota is only like 3,000 or 4,000 people.
So this is the biggest event of their year.
Yeah, and there's about 50,000 people in the city during the Hall of Fame. So I'm kind of against it, but, you know, I could see why they inducted him. And there's a big desk of all these people, right? There's 50 world champions sitting down for dinner and the inductions, and I'm sitting right next to Sylvester Stallone. He was the nicest guy in the world. We talked for 2 hours during the whole time we were there. He knew all my fights, and I would tell him, I know all your movies.
He knew your fights?
Yeah, he's a big boxing fan. He loves boxing. He seen me fight Azuma Nelson. He was just telling me the guys I fought. You fought this guy. He just knew everything about boxing. I was like, wow. And we just talked for 2 hours. In my Instagram, I have photos of he and I sitting right next to each other talking, and just a good guy. I was so happy that I got lucky to sit next to him. Or maybe he felt different. Maybe he felt lucky to sit next to him. I'm just playing.
Well, think about this. He did all that homework on your fights, and he could have been sitting next to Azuma Nelson, not knowing his story.
Exactly. Exactly.
I heard once you said that after you fought Louie Espinoza on your way to your first fight with Azuma Nelson, you said that you knew you were ready for the big time. What was it about that fight that made you feel that you were ready?
Louie Espinoza was, I think, a 3-time world champion. I think maybe 3-time world champion, but he was just a very experienced fighter. He was taller. He was 5'9". I was 5'5.5". He had 44 wins, 38 knockouts. I had 26 fights.
Total. Oh, wow.
Total. He had more knockouts than I had fights. And so he was very experienced. And for me to be able to beat him, I knew that I belonged in the game. I knew I could fight with the big-time fighters.
Azuma Nelson. You fought this dude 4 times. That's unheard of.
Nowadays, yeah. That's more like Rocky, right?
It is. You fought Azuma Nelson. Is this true? About 3 weeks before the scheduled fight, he came into your gym and wanted to fight you for real? Like, not for real, but he wanted to spar with you in the gym 3 weeks before the fight?
Yeah, he came in. We trained at the same gym, and he came in. It was about like a month before the fight. He came in, and one of his handlers asked me, they were just playing mind games with me, right? But I didn't know at the time. They walk in, he goes, Azuma wants to know if you want to spar with him. And I'm like, what?
Was your dad there?
Yeah, my dad was there. My dad laughed about it when he heard it. But, you know, he's 26 years old. That's not going to happen, right? How do you spar with the guy you can have a huge world title fight with, and he wants to spar? It's just a mind game. But what he was telling me was he's not even worried about me, that he would even spar me. So we just laughed it off. And I said, that's a good one, though. But we laughed it off. And we went on to have a good fight, that 12-round draw.
Was that in San Antonio?
In San Antonio, 63,000 people at the Alamo Dome.
63? No, okay. So then was that your biggest stage at the time?
Yes, the biggest stage.
63,000 people in the Alamo Dome. Oh, my God.
It was crazy.
Are you nervous performing in front of people like that? I know you fought on TV with millions of people watching, but with 63,000 live people in the arena, like, does that make you nervous?
It's always harder to fight at home.
Why?
Some people say, I want to fight at home, or I want a home court advantage, or whatever it was. But think about this. Think of all your friends and family. They're all watching. They're all there wanting you to win.
Your math teacher who said you weren't going to be anything, he's watching. Like, everybody's watching.
All those, yeah. They're all watching. They're all there. You just want to do better at home, and you would try your hardest and you try your best. And sometimes you may try too hard and not follow the game plan because you're trying to do better or try whatever, you know. And there's a lot of pressure on you to fight at home. Everybody's coming after you for free tickets. Everybody's going to come after you after the fight to go take you out to dinner. It's just a lot of pressure. And sometimes when you fight away from home, man, there's no one there. It's just you and your trainers and the fighter. But when you're at home, everybody's coming after you. Everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody wants you to fight for them, whatever it is, right? And that just adds more pressure.
So over the course of your career, would you say that you fought better away?
pressure's not always bad. Sometimes it's good. It makes you fight hard.
Okay, so Alamo Dome, 63,000 people. It's a draw, which means you don't get the belt, right?
Yeah.
8 months later, you fought this dude again, this time in Las Vegas. And guess what? You won the title.
Yeah.
How did it feel to vindicate yourself on the world stage like that, even though it wasn't at home?
I mean, it was just incredible. You never forget that feeling of accomplishing something that took years for you to do. And the dream that I had, my dad was a fighter. He didn't win a world title. He even though he was a great trainer and a great fighter, but he never won that world title as a fighter. So that was from my gift to him.
Did he cry?
Not in front of me. Not in front of my dad was a tough, all dads, I think, were that way, right? Tough and stern, don't cry, men don't cry, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Yeah, exactly. And I never saw him, but I knew he was proud. My mom tells me today's day that, that's all he lived for that. He lived for to train me and to be with me. We spent 20 something years every single day at the gym together. Man, we had a blast. Traveled all over the world with him, took him all over the place. We traveled everywhere. Boxing, had me travel all around the world, and my dad was with me. So we were partners.
That's something that not a lot of people get to have in their lifetime, is not only a relationship like that with their father, but also to have the world open up and to be able to do all of those cool things with that person. That's really special.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of your second fight story with Azuma Nelson. I think it was this fight. You get back home, you're the world champion.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're getting to. Yeah.
What's the first thing that happens when you walk in the door with your wife?
Oh my God! So first of all, we're in Vegas, right? When the fight's over with, the next day we're flying out, and I had the belts with me, and everybody's around me. All of my trainers and clients, probably like 60-something people flew up to Vegas with us, and we're all flying back together. So the pilot coming out, he's taking pictures with me. Everyone that was in the plane taking pictures. So I'm just on top of the world, right? I'm on top of the world. I have the belt around me. I get to San Antonio. Every major news station's there. The both papers are there at the time, the Express News and the San Antonio Light. Everybody was just there. And I get off and we're interviewing for an hour and a half. And people are just talking, taking pictures. It was just huge, right? And then we drive home. We get into the house and my wife goes, "Did you take out the trash before we left to Vegas?" I said, "I don't know. I was not thinking." She goes, "Will you take out the trash?" And I said, "I won the world. I'm like, I have a world title in front of me. I'm on me.
I can't take out the trash. I'm holding this belt."
Yeah. She goes, "I'm the world champion here in the house. You can't take it out." And I, God dang it. I put the belt down and take the trash out, She humbled me right away, right? She humbled me right away.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
You fight Azuma Nelson again for the third time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say something. Remember that date I was supposed to go on?
Yeah.
That was my wife now.
I know you guys, you said it when you were telling that story. You called her your girlfriend and then you called her your wife.
And I said my wife. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because you guys have been together since you're 12 years old, right?
Since we're 12 years old. Yeah. We've been together now 47, 45 years, 46 years.
That's why she can just tell you to go take out the trash like it's no big deal.
Yeah, she's still doing that today.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
So you fight Azuma for the third time. This one goes to him via TKO. Did you, in fact, put a hex on him after that second fight?
No, here's what happened. And it's funny. We laughed about it. Azuma and I talked about this maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, when I saw him in 2015. I saw him in Vegas there was a WBC convention. We were talking tonight because I remember he wrote a book and he had mentioned that I put a hex on him in the second fight. And I said, "Man, you put one on me in the third fight." I could have sworn he did that because I'm in the ring for our third fight and I feel great. I'm bouncing around and I felt good. He starts walking out with his music, and his music was a bunch of drums and tambourines and an African type music coming out. I felt something flushed right over me. And I looked at my dad and said, "Something's not right." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Something's not right. Like something happened to me right now." And then the fight went on. And the first round, we're going after it. And I feel okay. I'm going to throw an uppercut at him. And he's throwing an overhand right at the same time. He catches me right in the chin. I dropped down and I was like, whoa, this is not supposed to be happening right now. I get back up for the next 5 or 6 rounds. We're fighting. I'm trying to get into the fight. Getting out. I'm cut so bad that they stopped it because of the cut. But I was out on my feet for 5 rounds. I don't remember the fight at all. After the fight, I have to go to the hospital to get stitched. That's how I got like 30-something stitches over my eye. And my wife is crying and crying in the ambulance because we're going in the ambulance. And she tells me, James, are you okay? And I said, yeah, but I have to hurry up and go and fight. I haven't fought yet. I need to fight. And she's crying. And she goes, you just fought. And I said, no, I haven't. I haven't fought yet. She goes, look at yourself. And she gives me a mirror and I'm cut. And I'm like, wow, when did this happen? I had no idea. And she's crying and crying. She goes, you can't be doing this anymore. You can't do this. So I get up, stitched up, and we go back to the hotel. But I had no idea I fought. And that's what happens when you get hurt. And I wasn't knocked out. I was just out of my feet and still fighting for 5 rounds.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
I bet it terrified her, that poor woman.
Yeah. I put her through so much through my boxing career. Just when my son started fighting and I see him fighting, my stomach would be so tight. I'd be so tense just because you can't do anything. When you have a loved one fighting, you can't fight for them. You can't do it. You can cheer, but you can't do anything else. My wife would be sore for 4 or 5 days after my fight, just from her being so stressed out for the fights.
All scrunched up and tense, yeah.
She was always at the fights, but she would never look at me fighting. She would always look at my feet or my shoes to see me. And one day she was doing that and I got knocked down. And she goes, after that, she stopped looking.
And yet, you fought Azuma Nelson for a 4th time and final time back home in our beloved city at the Alamo Dome. You win this time. How did it feel to close that chapter and finally stop fighting that dude?
Well, it was good because, we were 1-1 the first 3 fights. The first one, a draw. I beat him the second one. He beat me the third. So this was that tiebreaker. And to be able to beat him and to beat him decisively was a great feeling. I'm glad this is over with. And I don't ever have to fight him again. We fought 42 rounds. And every single one of those rounds is like survival mode, just trying to hope that you don't get knocked out. And we became great friends. We are great friends today.
So is that the only reason that you fought him 4 times is because there was a draw in there? Was it just like to see who could get the best?
Well, it just makes sense, right? You fight a guy, your rival, you're 1-1.
Yeah.
You got to have that 4th one.
Sure. Sugar Shane Mosely.
Mm-hmm.
What did your fight against Sugar Shane Mosely tell you about your fortitude and your drive?
I knew what I had already as a fighter. I knew what I could do. But to be able to fight him, they gave me a 3-week notice. I had 21 days.
That's really short notice.
Yeah.
How long is an average notice? Like, how long do you know?
8 to 12 weeks is great. It's good.
Okay.
It's good enough, right? If you're in training. But I had separated my rib 2 weeks before that or 3 weeks before that, and I had to cancel a fight that I was going to fight. Sometimes you fight injured a lot. We all do. You think about it, you're getting hit a lot, so you're going to get injured every once in a while.
Well, plus you get injured during training.
Yeah, exactly. That's most of the time you get injured. So I was hurt I was sparring and a guy hit me in the back and separated my rib from the front of my chest. So I pulled out a fight because I didn't want to fight this guy injured. But then when Shane Mosely came around 3 weeks later and they offered me a fight to fight him for all 3 belts, you don't say no to any world title belt because you may never get a chance. For me to fight him, to have a chance, I said, heck yeah, I'll fight him. So I went ahead and started training right away to get ready for that fight. And it was 3 weeks away because I guess one of his other fighters fell through. And so they called me and I said, heck yeah, I'll take the fight. So I had to drop 20 pounds in 3 weeks.
Jesus.
It almost killed me to make that weight. I made it. I fought Shane Mosely a couple of years ago. He said, now, I gave him one of the toughest fights at 135 pounds.
He didn't just say it. He said it like on Facebook. Like he posted it for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Jesse James Leija gave him one of the toughest fights he ever had at that weight class.
Yeah. I was probably 50%, 60% of who I was because of making that weight. I'm a heavy guy for a small guy, right? Big hands, big head, big feet. I'm a small guy. I was 125 pounder, 130 pounder, 135. I fought Shane at 135, but I walked around at like 155. And to be able to drop all that weight, to drop that, we all do it. A lot of
155 is still small. Yeah. Like that's still a low weight. Yeah. And then you cut even more.
Wow. I would get down to like a 2% body fat to fight most of my fights. But I gave him a hell of a fight, but I was fighting with a separated rib and he was hitting it.
So he knew, like part of the intel was that he knew?
Yeah, he knew it. In an interview, he had said, I know he has a separate rib, but I'm not going to aim for it. That's the first thing he did. That's the first thing he did. And I told him about it. I said, the first thing he did was go for the rib.
He's all I know.
Yeah.
Who hit you the hardest of all your fights?
So remember, I fought 58 guys, and a lot of them hit hard. But to this day, it has to be Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
He's so tall. Well, not so tall, but he's like 5'11". He was fighting at 135 pounds. I tell people, he used to knock guys out at 130, knock guys out at 135, knock guys out at 140, knock guys out at 147, knock guys out at 154, and knock guys out at 160. I said, if he's knocking guys out at 160, can you imagine how hard he hit at 135?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he hit hard.
Who surprised you the most in the ring, whether it was because the fight was harder than you thought it would be or easier than you thought it would be? Either way.
All the good guys you fight, you expect those tough fights. It's the no-namer guy that has nothing to win and gives you everything he has and doesn't have any quit. And
like when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson?
Exactly.
Like that, the no-name guy? No offense, all respect to Buster Douglas.
Yeah, but it's just one of those guys, the guy you don't expect to give you, because he has nothing to lose. And he's going to give you everything he has.
Yeah, he's trying to prove himself.
Yeah, some of those guys just like are going after it, and you don't expect that from them. But I fought a lot of great fighters, so they all hit hard.
They wouldn't have been in the ring with you if they didn't hit hard.
Yeah, I always tell people I never met a fighter who didn't punch back.
Okay, I don't want any numbers because I don't care about that. But which single fight earned you the biggest payday?
Oh, my last fight.
Yeah, last one.
Yep.
And who was the last fight?
Arturo Gatti.
That was your biggest payday?
Yep. And that's how I wanted to go out. Make the most money, make the most money and get out.
I hate to ask this, but I have to. What do you think about all of this recent trend of this boxing circus nonsense, like with Jake Paul and all of that stuff?
Oh,
what do you think about the paydays they're getting, and what do you think about the whole spectacle of it?
It is something that's going to ruin boxing one day if it continues.
In what way?
People are watching boxing, thinking they're watching boxing when they're not even watching. They're watching Jake Paul fight someone that he has a contract with that they have to lose or they don't get paid. It's a mockery. It's crazy. And there's people watching this thinking it's real boxing. I got to hand it to Jake Paul. He's making all the money in the world.
Oh, my gosh, it's ridiculous.
But he's never going to win a world title unless he really buys it. He's not that good. He's a glorified amateur boxer.
He's still just a YouTuber.
He's a YouTuber. Yeah, I'm saying. But he's making money. I don't hate him for that. He's making all power to him for doing all that.
And he's making money for the other people, too. Like the guys that are agreeing to it, they're also getting a huge payday. But I think I read, a couple of weeks ago after that weird fight or whatever.
Anthony Joshua, the last fight.
Yeah, that one. I think Mike Tyson a couple of days later said, if I would have known that was part of the game, I would have kicked his ass for real. Like, if I would have known that I was allowed to, I would have beat his ass.
Well, I think Anthony Joshua broke the contract, so something happened. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but that was not what was supposed to happen, and Anthony Joshua didn't care. He didn't care because he has another fight lined up, a big fight, but I don't know. It's silly. It's silly.
Well, now that I've asked you and I've gotten your opinion, would you do one of those spectacle fights?
No. If I'm going to fight one of those spectacle fights, I'm going to fight to win.
So you would do the same thing as Joshua, right?
Yeah, I'm going to fight to win.
Like, sure, we'll do this, but I'm gonna make it real. Okay.
Yeah. Azuma Nelson and I talked about doing one.
Oh my gosh.
Our fifth fight. Our fifth fight. But we talked about doing it, but we just haven't. His sons had said, Dad will fly up there and all that. But I said, man, do everyone. Do this, do everything. I said, maybe no one cares. Maybe nobody will watch. But we thought about doing something like that, but it hasn't panned out yet.
Okay. I need you to tell me about mental health. You are a mental health advocate here in San Antonio. Why is championing that cause so important to you?
Well, I'm part of it, but it's my son's doing. My son, James II. He took this on upon himself to help people and to help himself and to get the word out that we need to talk about it more. It needs to be out in the open, and it can't be one of these, don't say anything, what are the neighbors going to think?
Like the way you grew up, yeah.
Exactly, and we can't do that. And so my son, James, has bipolar, and he has control of it. So he wants to help people who are not. He wants to help people who may look at it differently. There's times that people want to hurt themselves because they don't want to feel this anymore. Mm-hmm. And they want to hurt themselves. And my son, James, he's gone through where he wanted to hurt himself too. There was times that he wanted to hurt himself and he couldn't handle it anymore. But now he says, I didn't want to hurt myself. I just didn't want to feel what I was feeling. And I was tired of that. He said some people would tell him that they want to hurt themselves. He goes, do you really want to hurt yourself, or you just don't want to feel what you're feeling anymore? That's a big difference. Do you really not want to be here, or you just don't want to feel what you're feeling? And it's usually they don't want to feel what they're feeling, and there's ways of helping with that, right? Whether it's medicine or therapy, whatever it is. You just don't want to feel that anymore. And we have a foundation that we help companies or other hospitals here in town. We help with funding and getting people the right help.
What's the name of the foundation?
The Leija Family Foundation.
How could somebody donate to that foundation?
Go to leijafamilyfoundation.com and just help out. $1, $2, $3, whatever it is. We're helping people here in San Antonio and the surrounding area.
My wife and my mom has passed, but my wife and my mom have spent the bulk of their adult lives as psychiatric nurses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a place that really hits home over here too.
Yes, it does. My son, James, is a graduate. His degrees in psychology as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Miracle League. This is the craziest thing.
Yeah, so the Miracle League is one of my best friends, Michael Miller, is the president, and I'm the vice president of the Miracle League. The Miracle League is a baseball league for special need kids here in San Antonio and the surrounding area.
Like Morgan's Wonderland kind of special needs?
Yeah, some of that. Actually, we helped Morgan's Wonderland get the things that they needed from the city.
Oh, okay.
They came to us and asked if we would help because we had the Miracle League already. So it's a baseball league for special need kids to be able to play baseball. We have over 200 kids that come on weekends and play next door to West Stadium, where we have a special field. It costs us $1 million or so to build a special field with a rubberized field where in case anyone falls or trips, really smooth surface. And so we have kids go out there and play baseball like every kid should be able to. I have golf tournaments and fundraisers, and everything goes to the Miracle League.
Don't you have the longest running charity golf tournament in San Antonio?
Yeah, I've had my golf tournament now we're going on 32 years this year.
Hey, are you any good?
I used to play, when I was fighting, I would play golf once or twice a week for like 12 years. And I got down to like an 11 handicap, 11 handicap.
Check you out.
So I used to be good, not anymore. I don't play anymore. So when I retired, I said, all I did for a year is play golf. And after that, I told me I got to do something. So I opened up a gym to train businessmen, businesswomen, the San Antonio Spurs. We train everyone at our gym. And ever since then, I'm so busy that I don't play golf anymore at all. Maybe once a year, which is my golf tournament.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the only time I play now.
Okay, so you mentioned that you started your own gym. Is this a boxing gym, a fitness gym, both? What is it?
It's the Leija Boxing and Fitness. We have weights. It's primarily boxing, of course, but it's something that everyone's trying out, and we're so busy, and we have such great classes, men and women, young kids I think my youngest kid there at the gym is 6. My oldest kid there is 83 years old, and I got a lot of 70s, 60s.
You should put those two in the ring together.
Yeah, no holds barred. I'll be in jail again. But so we train everybody. I've been training the Spurs now. My sons and I have been training the Spurs now for 22 years. Every summer we get to hang out with the guys and train them all, and put them through a boxing workout.
So let's talk about Wembanyama real quick. Are you training that guy?
Yes, several times.
So I feel like wherever Wembanyama is right now, I feel like with his reach, he could hit me.
Oh, yeah.
From wherever he is right now.
Or kicker. He can kick.
I feel like that guy wouldn't even need to leave his corner to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
He could just stand there.
Stay in his stool and punch.
Hey, streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Warning. Not listening to Fascination Street podcast may cause unexpected side effects. Side effects may include sudden fits of boredom, irrational curiosity about everything you missed, the inability to name your favorite podcast interview, spontaneous ignorance of obscure celebrity stories, talking to coworkers about nothing because you didn't hear the latest episode. Other symptoms may include excessive use of the phrase, "Wait, what happened?" Chronic seriousness with no trace of laughter or delight, unexplainable urge to scroll aimlessly instead of being entertained. In rare cases, not listening may lead to wandering aimlessly through podcast apps, overexposure to true crime reruns, and thinking you're cooler than you actually are. If you find yourself experiencing any of these symptoms, stop what you're doing immediately and download Fascination Street Podcast. Ask your podcaster if Fascination Street Podcast is right for you. Spoiler alert, it is.
Let's get back into it.
So how many locations do you have for your gyms?
Just one right now. We had 3 at one time. We closed them all down, made this one big one during COVID, and we've been there ever since.
Where is it?
Broadway and 410, inside the loop.
And I know you guys are busy, but you're still taking clients, right? People can still sign up and show up. And
Oh, yeah. Every day. We get new clients every day. We always say, my son says this, if the workout doesn't keep you, the community will.
Oh,
Yeah, we have great people there.
and what's the name of it? Is it just called
Leija Boxing and Fitness.
Leija Boxing and Fitness?
Mhm.
All right. I need you to do me 2 things, if you will.
Okay.
One, tell me about that one time where you met Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
Tell me how you did it, and then tell me what your experience was.
I had just retired. It was in 2005. I had just retired. I retired in January 29th, my last fight. And I think it was May that Ali was in San Antonio, going to be at a teacher's conference. And my attorney, Michael Miller, I called him and I said, hey, Ali is in town and I need to meet him because I may never get another chance. And he goes, well, let's go. So I get dressed. I go and pick him up. We go out to this hotel. We get off, walk up to the table, you know, where the registration table is. And these people aren't from San Antonio, but I walk up to it, I pretend like I think I know what I'm doing. And I tell the lady,
Yeah, part of it is acting like you've been there before, right? Like if you act like you're where you're supposed to be, then nobody questions you.
100%, 100. That's exactly what I did. I walked up to her and I said, hi, we were invited by the Ali camp to come out here and meet the champ. You know, I'm James Leija. And she looked at me, she goes, well, let me look at my list. Are you on the list? And I said, I'm not on the list. She goes, well, let me see anyways. I just, you know, there's no way I'm on the list, right? But she looks for it, doesn't find it. The girl next to her says, well, let me look at my list. I'm not on the list because I just made this up. They weren't from San Antonio, they're from some other city or state. And a girl, about 4 or 5 girls down, she goes, Mr. Leija, come over here. So I walk up to her and she goes, how can I help you? I said, well, we were invited by the champ to come and see him. And she goes, yeah, okay, well, hold on one second. She gets up, she walks off, and I look at my attorney and say, oh, man, they're going to kick us out.
We're going to jail, bro. I'm glad my attorney's here.
Yeah. They're going to kick us out. So a security guard walks up. He goes, Mr. Leija. He waits me to come with him. And I said, oh, let's go. So we walk in. He walks through a couple of doors, walks through a hallway, knocks on the door. Ali opens the door. We go in and we hang out there for an hour, just talking with him, with his wife, Lonnie. He had his photographer there taking pictures. It was amazing. I don't know if you read his books or have seen stories about him. Every time he is interacting with you, he makes you feel like if you're the champion, like if you're it.
You're the most interesting man in the room.
Exactly. He makes you feel like I have so many pictures here at the house from the photographer where I'm talking to Ali and he's just sitting down, looking at me, eating grapes, looking at me and his wife's just looking at me like they gave me all the attention. And I'm like, after an hour we left, I walked out my chair and said, did that just happen? And he goes, it was crazy. And I said, he made us feel like we're the most important people in the world. I've read books about him. That's what he makes. That's his gift. He makes you feel like if you're the important one, then you're it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. I did a lot of things. I already had my foundations. I already had, the Miracle League, and we had some other things. After that, I said, we got to help more. I got to do more in my community. I got to do more just because of what he does and who he is. I have to do. I'm not doing enough. And so that's when we opened up our other foundation. We had one back then. We opened up another one. We opened up the gym. It was about giving back.
So you spent your whole life giving back. And then even after all those years, you still felt like you weren't giving enough?
After I met Ali, I said, I'm not doing quite enough.
That's amazing. I need you to tell me about this podcast, the Leija Lounge. What? What's going on? Tell me about the Leija Lounge, man.
That's my son's podcast. We talk about everything. We have Sean Elliott. We have all these different people coming in, fighters. But we talk about boxing. We talk about life. And we talk about mental health. We talk about how they go through mental health. What have they gone through? How important is it to have mental health in your life? It's just great. We talked to Sean Elliott about his shooting and his teammates and how he felt after the Miracle Day and what he's doing today and, how he gets by with all the stress in his life and how he gets through it. It's about people. We all have things in our lives that we don't want to have in our lives, but we have to deal with them and go through them. It's a journey. We all have different journeys in life and we all walk a different path, but we all want to be happy and we all want to have love in our life and peace. We all want that. And there's ways of getting it. And if you're not getting it, there's ways of working through it. It's exercise too. It's having exercise of being calm and being mindful of peace.
I love it. I got 2 more questions and I'll let you go.
Yes, sir.
What was your fight entrance workout song?
I had several, but one of the nicer ones that people like was John Bon Jovi, Wanted.
Oh, Wanted Dead or Alive? Oh, that's a good fight song, dude.
So a lot of things that I did when I was fighting was people like, I used to do too, AC/DC, all this fast music, all this hard.
Thunderstruck and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Exactly, all that stuff. And that's great for a motivator. But then I learned, I read so many books in my career about mental health, toughness, mental toughness, calm and relaxation, the art of war, all these books I've read. And a racy mind is a racy body. Calm mind, calm body. And so I started integrating calmness and movement and humming during my fights. I would be fighting around and humming, and my opponent would look at me like, what the heck are you doing?
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just making sure that I was calm, because when you're calm, you react faster, you punch faster, you move out of the way faster, opposed to being tense. What can you ever do when you're tense? Nothing really well, right? But when you're calm and you react faster. So I became this calm guy, positive guy. I was so positive about everything. You tell me, it's going to rain. I said, great. Well, our grass needs it. It's going to be too hot. Great. The sun's out so much. It's great because everything grows from the sun. All that type of stuff I became that person. That's what made me a better fighter as well. And a better person, which is more important. I'm a calm person.
That is more important.
Yeah,
for sure. Because, the bulk of your legacy, you're going to leave the legacy as a great fighter and the champion that you have been in your community and for all of the different advocacies that you work with. But more importantly, the legacy is the person that people are going to remember you as.
Yeah.
I know you have 6 belts that we talked about earlier that you can see from where you are right now.
Five belts.
5. Okay, 5.
Yeah.
This is an embarrassing question, but how many times world champion are you?
I won the world title twice. I won the North American title 3 times.
So when you say you won the world title, is that the WBC and the IBA?
IBA, yes. And both those fights were against Azuma Nelson.
Both of them?
Yep. And the 3 other belts, I fought different guys for 3 different belts, but those are North American belts, and then I won 2 world title belts.
So when somebody says Jesse James Leija, is it appropriate to say 2-time world champion?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Jesse James Leija. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media, man.
Jesse James Leija on Instagram, Jesse James Leija on Facebook, and I think that's all I have.
And tell everybody where to go to find out more about how they can get involved with the Miracle League or with your golf tournament or even the gym. Tell everybody where they can go to find out more about you and all the things.
There's a lot of stuff. Leija Boxing and Fitness is our gym. The Leija Lounge is our podcast. The Miracle League of San Antonio is our baseball league for special need kids. That Michael Miller will probably be the one returning your calls.
And the Leija Foundation?
The Leija Family Foundation we have our own website and our own Instagram, so you can get a hold of us there. But I'm always, trying to make San Antonio a better area, just that we're helping. We're trying to give back. When you get something, you give something back. And the San Antonio has given me so much support through 30-something years now. They have given me so much support that I have to give back. And that's what we're doing. We're giving back.
Love it. What a beautiful story. What wonderful words to go out on. Jesse James Leija, 2-time world champion boxer. Before I let you get out of here, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about specifically that you wanted to talk about today? Like, did we cover the big bits?
No, we covered everything that is coverable. Everything was great. Thank you for your time and for the interview. I appreciate you.
Well, James, on a personal note, I grew up in San Antonio, born and raised here. I lived here my whole life. I'm 50 whatever years old. Mm-hmm. And your name has been synonymous with San Antonio for as long as I can remember.
Oh, you
are one of the sons of the city, and you have always done great work. And one of my favorite things about you as a person and a quote-unquote celebrity is that you've never embarrassed the city or yourself publicly. You weren't in the tabloids. You weren't on the news. You weren't in the National Enquirer. You weren't doing a bunch of crazy dumb shit, getting in trouble on TMZ.
Mhm.
You have always carried yourself with respect and integrity. And as a fellow San Antonio native, I appreciate the look that you give to the city. I appreciate the way you carry yourself and represent the city.
I appreciate that. Like I said earlier, I blame my parents for that because I had great parents, and I always wanted to make them proud.
Well, I think you're doing a great job. I can't speak for them, but as a parent,
Thank you.
I would be proud. So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
you have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later.
You too, bro. Thank you, man. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic, beating the hell out of everybody in a ring schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Opening music is from the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. Closing music is from the song Kosh, written, performed, and provided with the blessings of Kosh Mojo himself. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. All episodes are available ad-free at patreon.com/Fascination Street Podcast. And don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And again, thanks for listening.